Today we celebrate the 19th Sunday in Ordinary Time. And today, Jesus wants to show us how he reveals himself in our lives. In the first reading, we see the prophet Elijah, this very important prophet in this history of salvation of the Israelites, of our own salvation, that he appeared to Jesus together with Moses when he transfigured up in Mount Horeb. This Elijah, he was running from trouble, and in trying to save his life, he went up to the cave and he was hiding. He was hiding when God came to him and told him, "What are you doing here, Elijah? Come out. Come out that I'm going to pass by." And then he comes to meet the Lord. But after a few tries, he finds out that the Lord comes to him in the silence, in peace, in the little minute sound of a peaceful breeze coming by. He wasn't in the storm, he wasn't in the fire, he wasn't in the earthquake. He was in the peace of a soft breeze, bringing him tranquility, bringing him what he needed, that he could discover that God's presence was with him and that he had all he needed to continue on his journey, to continue with his vocation. And so it is in the gospel. Peter, our first pope, he's there, and the whole group of disciples meet Jesus. They are in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the sea. And at first they think he's a ghost, because of course they are fearful, first of the storm, and then somebody walking on the waters that they had never experienced. But he says, "It is I, take courage, do not be afraid." And then Peter tells him, "Lord, if it is you, bid me come into you." And so he tells him, "Come to me." But in the midst of the journey, of the short journey between the boat and Jesus walking on the water, Peter loses focus and it starts to sink into the water. He yells to Jesus to save him, and of course Jesus extends his hand and pulls him out of trouble. And that's how Jesus comes. He comes in peace. He is the peace. He is the eye of the storm. That's probably why they say that when a hurricane comes, the most peaceful place is in the middle of the storm, where there is no sound, when there is no movement, when all there is peace and tranquility. God comes to us. He is always present to us, even in the middle of our storms. Because what are our storms? What are our fires? How about the burning fire of temptation that wants us to distract our sight from God? Those temptations that are so desirable, those temptations of the worldly flesh that wants to pull us to immediate satisfaction. What about the storms of financial trouble, the storms of arguments among brothers, among families, among husband and wife? What about all that strong wind, those hurricanes that come and want to wipe us out of everything that we think we have, that we hold on to so dearly? And then when we are in the middle of all this situation, it is very easy for us to lose sight of God, to think that he abandoned us and that we have to deal with all of this by ourselves. And of course, what happens in our very weak humanity, 99% of the time, we fall to the temptation. We go away from God and we think that we have to solve everything in our own. Or that if we can't solve it, we might as well give in and just keep on with what the world has to give us. Well, Jesus wants to tell us today that no, that's not the right answer. The right answer is to look for him. The right answer is to stretch out our hand to him in the middle of the storm, because he is there. He is there waiting for us to call on him so that he can stretch out his hand and pull us out of trouble. But we have to work on that. We have to work on our strength. We have to ask him to give us the wisdom and the light that in the middle of this darkness that we face in our life, we can see the spark of light that if we allow him in, will turn into full brightness and will allow us to continue, will allow us to come out as strong, will allow us to come out victorious on the other side. Never out of our own strength, but always pulled out by God. Always him coming to give us all that we need. Always him coming to give us peace. Always him coming to fill our life with his love. As we come to the Eucharist, let us ask him that him coming into us will take control of our life, will give us the strength that we might allow him to truly keep us under his care, to truly allow us to feel his presence in our life, and to give us the strength that we can truly surrender our life to him and become his witnesses, become his tools, his hands, his voice in our life and those of all those around us, that we can be co-workers with him in building the kingdom here. For that is our mission, to go out and make disciples of all those that we meet. May God bless you. And may you have the strength to find them in the middle of your temptations, of your storms, of your earthquakes, because he's there and he will pull you out victorious to the other side. Have a blessed week.